Hello and welcome back to the International 5 Qualifiers. This is the SEA region. We're in the losers bracket. This is TnC versus Rave. In the first game, that was just kind of a case study on how TnC's been winning games so far in this qualifier. Guys, what did you think about it?
I thought it was a really fun game. They played mid very differently than most people have been playing. Most people were playing trade mids. They put two mids there, and they just farm creeps. And sometimes there's ganks, and that's the only time they go on their opponent, really. So he just traded farm, or forced his opponent out of the lane. No experience for him. He got last hits, and then he started roaming. They shift the support over. Support gets a lot of experience. They play greedy, and then all of a sudden there's a stupid gold advantage over their opponents. And it's not about winning your lanes. It's about playing your lanes correctly, I feel. It's like zoning.
Now, if Rave is going to come back, Lumi, how do you think they're going to have to do it?
They're not going to come back because there's Blessing on the other side.
We do see ourselves getting into the draft.
I feel like TNC's a team who they're not actually they have the heroes they like, but you take away those heroes, they don't care. They have these backup heroes always. They had the Clinks last game. They have the Jug mid. They have Meepo as a kind of, I don't even want to say pocket strategy because they've used Meepo a number of times leading up to this qualifiers. It's a pick that's even was during the group stage was banned against them. So they have so many weird picks. Abaddon was one that they also used. So to me, TnC have a lot of depth with their picks that you can't easily ban against them.
I also feel that TnC, when I see them win, it's them snowballing completely out of control. And my question is, if Rave can make that defense, the early game defense that they need, is TnC that top tier team that could change up their gear and play differently? I'm not sure. I've seen it yet.
Do you think defense-wise they should be looking to react and like counter TnC's aggression, or should they just be getting aggressive themselves and going at Rave before Rave come at them?
I feel that when you make the game completely chaotic, that actually plays into the favor of TnC because that's how they want to play in the first place. But when you have picks like Earthshaker or Leshrac, these are decent defensive, or at least Earthshaker definitely is. You can make those key rotations and react, like you said. But when you're reacting, you're always playing from one step behind, right? So
TnC deciding where the fight's happen.
So I think that's their best bet, but I don't know. I don't know what Rave is feeling. Yeah,
and Bloodseeker, one of the favorite pickups here for TnC, and it's a great band coming out from Rave. As you said, this Abaddon. When I've watched TnC do really well with this Bloodseeker, is what they like to do is put the Abaddon and run a dual mid for the first 3 to 6 minutes of the game, putting the Abaddon there, just throwing the Aphotic Shield on the Bloodseeker, and he'll dive the mid whenever he feels like he has a chance to go in. If he hits it, basically, he'll throw out Blood Rights mid to zone the enemy mid, and if he ever hits one, he dives in with the Aphotic Shield and can usually get a kill out of it. Rave, they'll counter with the Lion pick and a Shadow Fiend. Do you think this is the way to kind of go against the Bloodseeker here? Because Lion, a fair amount of control, but Shadow Fiend to me seems like maybe not the best choice.
I think Shadow Fiend's great. I think it's just great because it's a mid that has killing potential with just one support rotation. Shadow Fiend hits level 5. Either Lion or Earthshaker rotates a Fissure or a Hex Impale. You can kill the Bloodseeker, and to me, this is like the kind of mid you want to play with against Bloodseeker. It does great against the early 5-man with a just fast mech and just level 4 raises. And it's a hero that Rave are really comfortable with. I think Shadow Fiend should be a hero they go to a lot this series if they get to a game 3 even.
I think early mech is, sorry, Persia cut you off, but I think the early mech is really important against Bloodseeker because you could be running into the fight and suddenly they mech and you lose like, 100 MS plus 100 damage. That's huge for Bloodseeker. Yep. So
I think Shadow Fiend's the best 1v1 against Bloodseeker as well because the problem with Bloodseeker is he just continuously lifesteals from killing creeps. You can't really be contesting that because he gets bonus damage from Blood Rage. But what Shadow Fiend can do is every time Bloodseeker's like, I'm coming in to heal, he casts Blood Rage on himself, you give him a raise. And he takes 25% bonus damage from that, raise, right-click, and then maybe raise a second time. If you do that, Bloodseeker gets to a low HP. He doesn't feel comfortable getting last hits unless Shadow Fiend pushes. So I think he can actually control the lane up a lot better. It might change completely if it is a dual lane with Bloodseeker, but if it's a one-on-one, I think Shadow Fiend definitely has the matchup win it there, at least if he can get a couple CS to start.
They banned the Bounty Hunter to protect the Shadow Fiend as well. That would be a pesky 4-position hero that would cause Shadow Fiend problems. So they protected him with the Abaddon ban, with the Bounty Hunter ban. We'll
the Earthshaker pick.
Yeah, the Earthshaker pick. I'm not sure what kind of 4-position support TnC can pull out that will cause Shadow Fiend problems. Maybe like a jungling Chen or something, but I haven't seen TnC run any Chen throughout the qualifier.
I don't believe I've seen so either.
So Rave for now, their last pick is just the offlaner for Rio. Well, actually,
it's probably going to be the Earthshaker.
It's normally the Earthshaker offlane. That's actually a good point.
They win a lot of games with Rio playing the offlane Earthshaker. I think they did lose the best of 1 against Phoenix there, but a Darkseer is going to be like, it is going to be a support. So support Earthshaker, offlane Darkseer. Darkseer is, I assume they'll probably put Quaff versus Shadow Fiend and put Bloodseeker in the safe lane, I'm guessing, but I think BS is okay versus Darkseer. it's not bad because you can kill the Iron Shell creeps. You have a really good way to heal. I don't think this is really the best laning setup for them. And then they would do offlane Bristleback, who is potentially against... Are they going to put Shadow Fiend mid there or Leshrac? Maybe it's going to be SF safe.
I think SF
or they could aggressive. They could aggressive.
All of these lanes are just very musical at the moment. I think they might be trying to do some mix-ups, both teams, to try to figure out what's going to be the best lane comp for them. For TnC, it has almost always been Sam H, their offlaner, playing the Bristleback. I haven't seen them place it mid or safe lane yet.
Okay.
The big difference I've seen from this TnC draft and the last one was, last one had an Earthshaker that was roaming around, and we've been saying that, hey, Klings did a lot of work against Lesh mid, but it was also those fissures that came in and get those killed. Who is the roamer in this TnC draft?
They don't have one.
They don't have one.
Well, I think it's their last pick. They haven't got their 4th position hero yet, or their secondary support, whatever it may be.
So if you're just sitting in lane, kind of trading farm, first of all, that's not TnC's playstyle. So I think that they need to make the game a little bit more chaotic. Second of all, TnC has no stuns. So when those early game engagement comes, I think it favors Rave a little bit, just on hero matchup alone.
Here comes saying like a Sand King. I feel like you mentioned no stuns and like something that can actually roam a bit / even jungle.
That's the weird thing with TnC. Okay, we'll see which
Doctor.
They're not.
That's not a roaming hero either.
No.
So
Yeah, they're not one to like go away from a hero just because the stun is a skill shot either. I've seen them pick kind of like naked Leshracs as a support and naked Linas as supports and stuff. So. Witch Doctor, I think, makes a lot of sense because sometimes they don't really like roaming as much as just coming together as 5 early. So it's not as much
the Bloodseeker is going to be the roamer. Instead of having roaming supports this game, it's going to be a roaming mid, which means the supports, their main focus will be on pulling, getting early levels while zoning out Darks here.
And then shifting into mid like last game as the mid player starts roaming, I think. And Witch Doctor is also pretty good against tanky cores. They had Shadow Fiend and who was the other one on Rave? They picked Shadow Fiend and...
They had the Bristleback.
BKB.
Oh, the Bristleback was on...
it was Leshrac.
Darkseer.
Well, Leshrac, Shadow Fiend, both very high HP but vulnerable to physical damage. I think those are the best ways to deal with those heroes because they will probably get BKBs, and Witch Doctor can profit like the Earthshaker did last game.
All right, TnC smoked up once again, and we're in game 2 where if Rave loses the game, they are eliminated.
Yeah, very important for both teams. TnC wants to get this quick 2-0 and get a chance to make it to the next series where they'll face off against MVP Phoenix. So with that said, guys, we're going to give it to our casters, Luminous and Gods. Take it away.
Thank you, Mr. K-Pop-Tosis. Here we go. Smoking enemy jungle, looking to get down some early wards, finding an early first blood. Just TnC classic. Rave last time read them very well. This time around, though, not going to find them immediately. And Jay are going to be running right into this disruptor. There we go. The pinks come out. They both spotted each other. It looks like nobody going to get caught out here with the initial rotation.
I wonder why they warded the big camp. I guess the Shadow Fiend stacking.
It's a big thing to prioritize shutting down, though. Especially when the medium camp is right there. And if your Radiant supports aren't stacking for him, the Shadow Fiend can be just fine. He'll just go for the medium camp instead now.
Yeah.
Or they'll stack the other big camp for him.
So Teehee most likely going mid.
Yes.
Oh, he's generally always going mid.
Yeah, they normally send the Bloodseeker mid, so it will be Bloodseeker versus Shadow Fiend. Both will be grabbing a bounty rune apiece, and fairly standard opening for the two teams as far as the mid matchups go. Actually, no, Jayo's going safely. No, he's going to swing back mid. Chris is up on him.
Okay.
This is what you'd expect. Jayo just took a long time to get to the mid lane, and we'll get those first, maybe just miss like 1 or 2 creeps here.
And in this particular matchup, I don't think the block matters nearly as much.
Yep.
So normally, I've seen when Bloodseeker is played, he maxes Thirst, which is, I believe, his best spell. Or has he been playing it differently?
I do not know the specifics.
Okay.
I've seen him once against item-wise, I've seen him go for Blade Mail. I've seen him rush BKB. I've seen more item-wise, but I haven't seen the actual skill builds. So we'll find out. As for TnC here at the bottom lane, it's going to be a off-lane Bristleback Witch Doctor. This is the exact lane that came out last game from Rave, and early aggression on Chrissy just to start giving him some harass here.
That was a decent cast. Bounce off the creeps. Got like 4 right clicks in. But Jayo's going to have a tough time in this early game.
Once he gets the souls, he can look to bully Teehee out of the lane, especially with the Earthshaker rotation. But
I almost thought he should have gone the level 1 raise bill. Just
he
to...
did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, is he going to get first blooded? Yep,
Oh,
that's
dear.
it.
Big
I mean,
mistake.
Teehee's going to die here, but fine.
yeah, that's completely worth it there. Gets first blood. Nice chunk of gold going his way. He gets more than 200 gold.
Here's the thing,
Good
though.
old fight recaps.
TnC is like, the way they play almost feels like a pub all-star game, right? Like they just snowball. Everything they do is just snowball.
No, the SA leaderboards, I think 4 of their players are in like the top 6 or 7 on the leaderboards. It's actually crazy. These guys are like a pub star team in the sense that they all have a crazy individual skill, but they have been playing together a while. That's one of the big things about the SCA qualifier. There's a lot of teams with big name players, like if you look at G-Guard where they have Yamate, Winter, Ling, and all these players. These teams didn't do well. They formed a month before like the qualifier. Same for Invasion with Extinct, Shaitan, and that stuff. But
Eva with Miracle and Chains. And
the teams who have had consistent rosters are the 4 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The last roster change any of these teams made, I believe, was MVP Hot 6 when they brought in Jerax from Europe, which happened like 3 to 4 months ago now. So consistency paying off in SEA. And right now, TnC, well, it's been looking good for this upcoming team. A lot of people on the Western team probably wouldn't have even heard about or known these players before this qualifier, but looking good here against Rave.
Yeah, I wonder what this top lane is. I mean, I guess Quab is just getting levels here.
This is a similar problem to last game where, well, I guess it's the other side where Rave with the offlane Darkseid should be able to not get zoned out too badly, because last game was the Timbersaw where you're getting farm as well as decent experience, and should be a similar story here with the Darkseid in the offlane.
That's the thing, though. In theory, that Disruptor is really good against Darkseid, because the threat of a kill with the Glimpse pullback. But I feel that Darkseid has now gotten, level 3? So he could just easily keep getting levels by putting Iron Shell. So perhaps the early level has not been well played. And as a result, this Darkseid is making it home on the top lane.
All right, so TnC going to be happily settling in here. Bloodseeker and Queen of Pain both last hitting well. And on the Radiant side, similarly, Leshrac and Shadow Fiend farming well. It's going to be interesting to see when the rotations come out. Earthshaker's made his move to sit behind this mid lane. Jayo approaching level 5, which is where there is some kill potential. Just a casual fissure. Doesn't even follow it up with any raises, though. And
well, I say that Bloodseeker is approaching level 6. That's where the real kill potential is. So I think Earthshaker is just sitting mid. His job is to pull that medium cap and then sit mid. Or either that Shaker needs to have a TP score ready.
Coming on Sam H here from the side. Earthshaker there with the fissure as well. And the damage going to suffice as Leshrac brings down Bristleback. A nice punish on the Bristle, who was trying to contest the neutral pulls.
Oh, they're going to make it go here, right? They do have the Glimpse. Do they? Are they going to glimpse it back?
I think they're waiting to use it. They need to make sure they have vision. He glimpses back the
nice.
TP. Blink Scream, one right click. Nicely played by TnC. That was really good. They knew the Darkseid was trapped there and just happily used the glimpse elsewhere.
Very patient on that glimpse, yeah.
Queen of Pain just has to wait for the blink cooldown now. Noji's going to take these last hits and
he's stuck in there.
He's got bottle.
Chrissy got his TP cancel. He's actually stuck in there. Chrissy might actually die as a result. Will break the trees with the stun, and he should drop. Nice kill. Meanwhile, Rupture, TP immediately being forced out.
Still a win. That's a short cooldown on Rupture, and Bloodseeker, he doesn't, I mean, he'd obviously prefer the kill, but he's still controlling this middle lane, out-farming Shadow Fiend, and putting Rave in a tough spot.
Normally, that's what I like to say, but it feels like Bloodseeker needs those kills, though. You think he's one of those
I don't think he needs that kill. He needs, like, one in his first 3 Ruptures he wants a kill from.
Yeah.
I think if you look at that as his first Rupture, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If he goes, like, 3-4 Ruptures in a row without a kill, then you say, okay, this is a problem.
Yeah, this is not working. Because you don't pick Bloodseeker to make them TP.
No. To me, it's like it's a math thing, where if you're getting 1 in 3, you're fine.
Yeah. Especially, also, the thing is, when Shadow Fiend TP's home, normally other mid just like lose like 2 creep wave, but Shadow Fiend walks back and raise. He's kind of back in it. So we'll see how he kind of begins to rotate.
Still, and the other thing, Jayo does not have his jungle to fall back to as well when he feels the lane's too dangerous with that early Observer Ward down. But we're going to come in with an Impale, followed up by a Split Earth. 7 gets low with the Lightning Storm. Voodoo Restoration going to be enough. No, he stays around. He's still alive. Oh boy, Sam H wants to run in as well. Has 1 charges to play around with me. Okay, not going to need to pop him. No follow-up Lightning Storm. The Haste Rune for Shadow Fiend. Not one of those. Bloodseeker may be the answer to Haste Runes, you know? Everyone complains about the S4 runes. This is maybe the hero people need to be picking more.
Does he have a teleport score, the Shadow Fiend? He doesn't.
Currently, no.
Yeah. Okay,
there we go. Let's say Courier flying out. Surely that's a TP, and that is the case.
So there's 2 ways to kind of build towards the Bloodseeker. The first one is the most common, the ones that we see a lot in pub games, which is the kind of the blade mail. I rupture, I run in, I turn in blade mail, and right click.
Yep.
Samage gets initiative. The other way is kind of a unique movement Bloodseeker build where you go like Yules and, well, hold that thought, because here comes initiation. Fissure is going to get blocked off, but they should have glimpse to take him back to the other side, but seeing the TP, they don't want to. So the Bloodseeker movement build is you use the Thirst movement plus whatever movement speed item you get, like SNY or Yules, and you just run on the outskirt of the fight, and you keep using your Blood Right as a zoning spell. And you need your teammates to do the damage. So
there's just a lot of lockdown, I feel like, to go to that. For that build against Lion Earthshaker, maybe it doesn't work as well.
Glimpse back, but great Fissure block, and I don't think he'll make it out. The Hex will cancel the TP. And once again, we see Earthshaker providing a lot of early game opportunity for both teams.
Yeah. I think we'll be seeing the standard Bloodseeker build. Blade Mail into either SMY or BKB.
Yeah. Blade Mail especially good against Chrissy. And
yeah. It's just how much the Bloodseeker is going to prioritize BKB over something like a SMY, which has also been a very popular pickup.
But you could just feel that this game is not going the way that TnC has intended, right? The kill score has been way too low. Another Rupture being spent, and he's out of there. So this is the third Rupture that we talked about.
He was definitely expecting to not get a kill, though, because he had no teammates nearby. Shadowfiend had a TP, and I feel like that was actually... That one there was a zoning Rupture. But yeah, like you say, they want to kill at some point with this Bloodseeker.
So I'm not sure about this TnC.
They're still... To me, they're controlling the early game for the most part. Like, the Bloodseeker is still farming better than the Shadowfiend overall. And they're getting a lot of space for Queen of Pain at top. We haven't even seen Queen of Pain get involved here. Look at the difference in net worth between Shadowfiend and Bloodseeker. That, to me, is... That's what the 3 Ruptures have done.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I feel like his team has not been helping him out is that neither lane has been trading very aggressively. Because I feel like when you have a Bloodseeker on your team, you want to make those trades. You want to get your HP as well as, more importantly, their HP low. Because suddenly, you know, he's moving at 400 MS, 500 MS. And it feels like Darkseer as well as Leshrac is very good at saying, hey, I'm going to just push out the lane. No trading shall be had. So I don't think this Bloodseeker is doing a lot of work.
He's got another Rupture, Jo.
What is this cooldown? He doesn't have the TP now, so he's kind of on his own, but his teammates is coming in. Blood Ride's going to come in, and do they have the raises? They will get the kill as a result. One more raise should do it. Jo going to get a little bit of regen back thanks to that Blood Rage.
That was a very defensive smoke. They defensively smoked back towards their Tier 1/Tier 2 tower.
Hey, man, it works against a Bloodseeker, so... All right, so this is kind of what my question was going into Game 2. If TnC doesn't get that snowball, or if the snowball just ends, what do they do, right? Because
I think they're fine. I think their snowball doesn't normally start until 10 to 15 minutes. That's, at least that's how I feel it. To me, what matters more is what's going to happen over the next 10 minutes. Once Queen of Pain gets involved, once Bristleback picks up his first core item. Like last game, they didn't really start picking up steam until they got those first, like till they got the Orchid, until they had all those different core items. The Blink on Earthshaker, to me, was the timing item for TnC last game, which came at 15 minutes. It wasn't until 15 minutes last game where I felt like they really started snowballing.
I felt that even before that point, Earthshaker was making roaming ganks. Klings was standing on the Leshrac's hill. I thought they were already advantaged. This game, I think it's quite even, right? You could look at net worth. Sure, it's TnC, it's pretty ahead, but Shadowfiend is definitely a very strong comeback hero. Here comes a Rupture on the top lane. TP, again, at the ready, and he'll make it home.
Okay. Bloodseeker couldn't get in for any auto attacks, and that was a kill TnC were definitely hoping for here. Getting one of the core heroes on the Rave side, something they haven't done in a... Well, they killed the Leshrac a bit earlier while the fight mid was going on.
Did you just see that? He was at 20% health, got the...
What a hero. Yeah. One of the very well, not so much underrated, but some of the underused parts of the Bloodseeker is the healing up teammates and boosting up their damage using the Blood Rage.
I mean, the reason that we see all of these TP out is because of TnC's lack of stuns on the draft as well, right?
Yeah. And Bloodseeker is mostly just solo ganking as well, so... It's not like the Disruptor, Witch Doctor was stacking the Ancients earlier. Disruptor's been kind of playing a bit more passively and defensively. Actually has taken over the mid lane now. And this is the TnC classic from last game where the supports take over mid lane after their mid goes ganking.
But this mid is not ganking, man.
Witch Doctor hits 6. Both supports have a lot of XP on the Dire side.
Yeah, I think Rave has done a very good job in the early game. kind of slowing things down, just farming,
Yep.
pushing out lanes. And TnC is, to me, they're not really sure. There's another rupture.
This time they have a glimpse. Jo going to turn, look to fight here. The Static Storm's waiting for Jo. The fissure comes now. He may look to bring down Bloodseeker
Oh! Who died first?
first. The Bloodseeker got the kill first.
Okay.
So it was the dying Requiem that killed Bloodseeker. He could have just ran there. Could have let his 2 supports finish off the kill with Death Ward in the kinetic field. Now bottom lane, Finger comes out. Down goes Bristleback.
TP in here. Quap kind of come in. Oh, no Sonic Wave. That would have been big. Chrissy trying to line up a stun. Will he hit it? He gets the courier, though. Not exactly what he wants, because that's a TP from safe lane to essentially die.
That's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
It does cut his loss to some extent, and the farm difference suddenly is no longer a farm difference. That was a 1900 gold swing. I don't think that includes the courier money on Teamfight Recap. Bloodseeker now has his Blade Mail. This will help him out a lot in when going for these kills here. Chrissy getting very aggressive behind the T1 tower, but he's low on HP and can't really fight the Disruptor. Will go down. That's the other thing. You can't use fogging when you're against the Bloodseeker. We'll keep vision of you as they tried to chase further and go for Ninja Boogie, but couldn't get any vision for the Rupture.
I'm not sure whether I like this game for TnC. I think Rave is playing extremely well. Yule Scepter for Shadow Fiend, so that's going to give him a little bit of extra time if he gets ruptured. And also you could use it to dodge the Bloodright, because Bloodright hits, I want to say 3 seconds after cast. So you could time it quite easily.
Yeah.
Is it 3?
Yep.
Okay.
So Jo now going to start farming up his own jungle. He's taken over the top of the net worth, and yeah, I think things are going a lot better for Rave. By no means, I don't feel like they're far ahead. I think they're a lot more stable position compared to last game. I think they've got a very strong mid-game draft. I mean, you team fight around Darkseer, Shadow Fiend with, well, he hasn't gone for the mech. Darkseer can go for the mech, and like their heroes, Earthshaker, Leshrac, fantastic at team fighting compared to, I think, what TnC have to some extent. TnC aren't going to have the guarantee of getting off a Witch Doctor Death Ward against the amount of control on the Rave side.
So what's the team's game plan for either side, you think, for the next 5 to 10 minutes?
I think TnC we see similar to last game where
Just
they'll group up and push and fight once they get their couple of core items. The Bristleback, Vanguard, maybe even Ogre Club. Bloodseeker maybe just waits for his Ogre Club. They look to keep on taking fights.
Uh-oh, here comes the Rupture. The glimpse back into the Static Storm. Shadow Fiend will be brought down very quickly. HP is low. Look towards Teehee to start. Wait, why is Teehee not moving like godlike speed? What's going on here?
Everyone's too full on HP. They're all full, Lumi. Needs to get him low. It's his own teammates getting low, and the Bristleback is down goes Sam 8. TnC looking to get a return kill. They get a glimpse back. That's on Ninja Boogie. They'll trade 1-for-1 line for Bristleback, but they did kill off the Shadow Fiend earlier.
You know, I always wonder why people never draft Zeus and Bloodseeker together. You just ult once.
That was Hot 6 doing that in one game earlier today in
okay.
qualifiers, but
I mean, you just get so much sight and damage.
it's great for setting up the Rupture too if you lack vision.
Yeah.
They're trying to catch out Rio here in top lane on Darkseid. Don't get any vision of him.
Yeah, nice TP.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, the T1 tower getting low, and it looks like TnC want to go for it, but they've already TP'd out multiple heroes here in 7. Good to get stranded, it looks like.
Rupture is going to be used, but
Just defensively.
Yeah.
Well, 7's healing up so fast here with the 2 points in Voodoo Restoration, but still gets brought down in the end. Meanwhile, Mid-J with a solo kill. Pays for it with his life, though. I don't even know if you can say that's worth it for Jo, who's now died again. He spent so much time dead this game. Teehee will not be chased down by Darkseer. Darkseer completed mech back at base, and another glimpse back. Ninja Boogie going to be off mark with the Impale, and Teehee, doesn't get the kill. He wanted that one to heal back up. Maybe he could chase on further. He will do so anyways. Rupture, very short cooldown, but not back up just yet. 20 seconds away, and he may just look to run in with the Blade Mail to help heal him up. There's a Static Storm preventing them from fighting inside it. They get a glimpse back the Earthshaker. He doesn't stand a chance.
Teehee.
Too aggressive.
Overplaying it, yeah.
Didn't get off his Blade Mail as well.
I think just the past 5 to 15 seconds, that's exactly how TnC wants to play it.
Yeah.
Random fights in the river.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Constant. They want to play CIS Dota right now, or in this case, TnC Dota.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things progress from here. There's TnC, and you throw, like, if they can get these kind of fights where they're trading even or getting a slight advantage, they'll itemize in ways that keep favoring them. Pick up Ogre Clubs. pick up SMY on the Bristleback, get a BKB on Bloodseeker. Queen of Pain even going for either an Ags or a BKB for the constant. Actually going for an Orchid here. Another good item for just constant skirmishing.
Yeah, he started it earlier, and of course I think it's really good against all the casters on the team. But
It's just going to come up a bit late in this game.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's been dying a couple of times. I also really like the Yule's choice on Shadowfiend, not just for saving himself, as we see Witch Doctor dying once again.
Lush is pretty fun. This Bloodstone timing is pretty formidable. 7, 3, and 2 on Chrissy's Leshrac.
The Yule's allows Shadowfiend to even get kills on Queen of Pain because her Orchid is so slow at this point. If she gets Yuled and Requiem right under,
yeah,
she's done. I don't know, man. I think this game is looking more and more like Raves as the game passes on.
Yeah. And TnC can't just sit back and say, oh, okay, let's just turtle up, farm our jungle and stuff, because heroes like Leshrac, Shadowfiend will farm a lot more efficiently. They'll find pickoffs a lot easier using just the Lion Finger of Death cooldown. Shadowfiend with his Yule's combo, and yeah, you can see on the graphs, it has been swinging towards Radiant favor for some time now. Bloodseeker just not known for his farming efficiency as it is. He wants to keep on fighting, and
he needs to farm heroes, and he's not doing that. Also, TnC coming into the mid game, they actually have no damage. Bristleback has gone for all defensive items, no SMY, and Queen of Pain is their only damage, and she's going for Orchid as well. I feel like when you play maybe 10 to 15 more minutes, TnC will just have nothing, especially when there's such an early mech on the Darkseer.
Well, around the time heroes like Shadowfiend, Leshrac get BKB, I don't know if Leshrac will go for him, but Shadowfiend definitely. That's where killing off these heroes in teamfighting just doesn't really become plausible.
Yeah. I mean, that's assuming that we don't see like a 5-man blood right into Sonic Wave. Oh, I like this though. AU going for a Aghanim's. This is one of the few times we see such an early aggressive farm. And again, that's kind of a TnC trademark, right?
Same as last game. Yeah, it's crazy.
You get support farmed, and I think Disruptor is one of the most underrated supports to get farmed like this.
Oh, they're looking for Teehee here. They surge forward. He's juking in the trees. Fissures there, but he's already popped the Blade Mail. This makes it a lot harder to bring him down. And he does not want to use the figure. Going to wait for it to expire, and now they bring him down with the AoE damage.
Okay, Sonic Wave's still alive. He's finally get brought down. Queen of Pain on the back line, trying to get a couple kills. Rio's going to get out of there.
Death Ward doing some serious damage. Kills off Leshrac, who's going to lose a lot of those Bloodstone charges. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain cleaning up the backlines, gets the Earthshaker, but can't really chase alone, but has backup coming in the form of Witch Doctor Disruptor. Jo winds up a Requiem, does okay damage, but mostly just trying to deter them from chasing. From the low ground goes Rio, vacuum wall, nicely played with a finger. Down goes TnC, they lose 2 and it's going to become 3. As 7 gets low, they can't keep up with him. The Lightning Storm not bad. Chrissy with that fast respawn time from the Bloodstone.
Yeah, he's chasing him down. Glimpse back. Long range. He's still there. He's running out of there. I don't think he has a teleport
Race
scroll,
to the secret
but
shop.
He's got 17 HP regen. Just run through the tower, man. You could do it. No, he actually wants to fight under here, and that's going to be a Yule's into a raise, I think.
Work.
Well, his back is still turned. He's tanking it.
Buy some TP scrolls.
Okay.
Oh, he had reliable golden.
He's got a pipe finished. Or bought. I think Disruptor made a big mistake because he wanted to use a Glimpse to cancel the Requiem, but the Requiem actually went off before that was the case. So they took a ton of damage, and then Wall and Vacuum and Impale came up, so they just kind of got murdered under that ramp. So another fight lost by TnC.
I don't think their lineup isn't really that forgiving as far as losing fights in the mid game.
No, it's not. Well, I think it's okay if your if your Bristleback goes for kind of damage and carry items, but he's not. He's trying to be the supportive utility hero of the team. Do we have the Orchid finish yet on the Queen of Pain? Is there any silver lining anywhere? There's nothing.
Crew's coming out, and it is another blue and stuff, so just about to finish.
We're close, we're close.
Still, normally you want this Orchid around like 15 to 18 minutes.
The only thing that TnC has going for them right now is Pipe. And Pipe gives them like a new lease on life for like 5 to 10 minutes. They should have the advantage in the next upcoming fights. Because right now, Rave is mostly magical as well.
Yep.
So, oh, the smoke gets...
That's a very common ward spot as well.
Wait, do we have the Pipe finish? No, I don't think you take fights without the Pipe. They just really need it.
No Pipe, no Ags and Disruptor, and they have got their ultis, but... Rave going to decide similarly they don't really want to fight right now. Leshrac's picked up a Yule Scepter, which gives them Another initiation. Yules is great at catching Queen of Pain. At this point,
Yeah.
Leshrac can almost solo kill Queen of Pain. Maybe can't burst through the damage during the stun duration, but can guarantee a stun setup using the Yules.
Yeah, Yules is generally also a very good item against Bloodseeker. If he's moving very fast and he's hitting very hard, just throw him up in the air for 3.5 seconds and deal with him later. BKB coming out here for Shadow Fiend. Okay. Now, obviously, it's good against everybody else, especially that Glimpse, but Bloodseeker will not care too much as his Rupture is pure. Or, not pure, but goes through BKB.
Yeah, bottom lane just
Rupture. He's
zoning.
fine,
Yeah, let's say that was not a kill. It's one of those ultimates that just gets thrown out when you're not even going for kills.
Uh-oh, is he going to die here? No. Should be fine. He's got the Orchid now.
You see a haste room bottled up by AU.
Is that his bottle
I
as
was
well?
about to say, same as the Earthshaker, I guess, where he's just buying bottles for himself. Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is a good bottle purchase. To be honest.
Yes. Earthshaker when you're roaming, fantastic. But to me, Disruptor's been kind of sitting more slowly in lanes and not quite the same logic that can be applied for the Earthshaker with the Disruptor.
What does he need mana for? He's got a level 1 Lightning Storm. It's not like he's spamming it to farm.
Wants to save the haste room for a team fight.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's some EE stuff, man.
The sudden invis rune in a team fight when no one has dust or sentries.
All right, so BKB's big for that Bloodseeker because previously he's running in and tanking it all and tank a little bit here.
Even stuff like this, Chrissy comes in, he's tanking up the blade mail. The finger will also hit the blade mail, but they'll survive this one.
Yep. Is this what we picked the Bloodseeker for?
Well, kind of. Just you
eat the stuns.
That's the idea with the Bloodseeker, but you don't want to be doing so defensively when you're losing the fights to follow. You're meant to be dying, and then you get 3 kills in return with your team. Like Queen of Pain being there to clean up.
Yeah.
Sure, that's what the Bloodseeker's for, but that specific exchange, no.
I also like the fact that this game, at least for Rave, is not very Roshan-centric. I think when it comes to that, that's where Bloodseeker gets a little bit stronger. He gets incremental damage when Roshan is beating on your team. Vision, blood right into the Roshan pit is very dangerous as well. And right now, Rave is sticking to the site game. Like they kind of have very good idea where TnC is coming from. They're focusing on the towers, and they're just getting fat on each and every hero.
They're playing just the safe game for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
they're leading on kills, but they have never, at no point do they really seem to be actively seeking kills. The kills have just been coming to them from TnC's aggression. And you kind of mentioned at the start, like how do they play this to deal with the TnC aggression? It's just about counter ganking and countering what TnC are doing.
They've done that
predicting their
very well,
movements
right?
and- yeah.
Remember the support, 2-man support smoking mid just to defend the Shadow
Yep.
Fiend? That's not a play we see a lot, but it worked very well against TnC.
And very much so, like the first Rupture was the one where Shadow Fiend's like, oh crap, I just got a TP. And then once Rave figured out, okay, Bloodseeker's going to keep going for this play, they reacted well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were there the first time and predicted it. It was like, okay, they just adapted to what TnC kept on doing with the Bloodseeker.
Do you think that Bloodseeker is a hero that only really works if the team makes mistakes?
Not necessarily. I think you can just force plays with the hero's tankiness in the front lines, but I think a few things didn't go his way this game. The gank top on the Darks here, if that had succeeded, it would be a lot better position for both Queen of Pain as well as the Bloodseeker. And I think also the Queen of Pain rotations have been almost to me a bigger problem than the Bloodseeker.
Yeah.
I think the Queen of Pain has been the bigger failure compared to the Bloodseeker this game. In the sense that Queen of Pain had a very slow Orchid and a couple miscues when she rotated. That TP bottom where she died and just killed a courier, for example. But even other times, like the Sonic Wave on the Darkseer and Darkseer lived. Like that is the kind of thing that you can't really afford to have happen for a Queen of Pain. Whereas for a Bloodseeker, it's like, well, 60-second cooldown. The hero's not being picked for his ultimate timings.
Sure. Now we see double Yules, double BKB on the side of Rave. And the damage output on TnC continues to drop. Pipe has been finished for, I want to say, 3-4 minutes, but they haven't used it yet.
They're waiting BKB. At this point, I think they have to wait BKBs. Leshrac is so scary. Leshrac has BKB, Bloodstone, Yules, and level 16.
Yeah. And Bloodseeker is one of the few heroes that, even when you get so many defensive items, you can get some damage with Thirst, provided they get hit. And the question is, how are they getting hit, though?
Sonic Wave alone may not cut it.
Also, I think you need to expand a Sonic Wave at the very beginning of the team fight. This might be a game where AU has to like Super Saiyan carry them, because it doesn't matter if you have BKB Yules if they get shut down by a Static Storm with Aghanims on it. That might be what they need.
Well, there's the value team fight rune. Invis picked up by Disruptor, and as far as getting off an Aghanims Disruptor
he's
ulti,
gonna get picked though.
Oh, yep. Jo winning the up. Requiem will be enough.
Got Blink as well. This is where Rave pushes the T2, I believe.
He was about 80 gold short of his Ag Scepter. And having an Ags plus Invis rune for a team fight is huge for Disruptor, because you can't set up your ulti with a Glimpse if they have BKB, because they can just dodge the Glimpse. Or, just preemptively BKB. And
it's so hard to do it this game because he has no teammates to stun for him. He's essentially on his own.
No Earthshaker, just a Witch Doctor Cask. Maybe Bloodseeker ruptures and then he can follow, because they'll stand still with the rupture, and you won't BKB because you can't BKB out the rupture damage. So a hero will stand still once they get ruptured.
Although I think at this point that Rave is tanky enough to just like, I'm gonna run out. Yeah. Okay, what are you gonna do? Alright,
and Lesh with Aegis, so Lesh getting kind of close to that 3 life status with the number of Bloodstone charges as well, starting to accumulate. Jo up to 2.5k gold. He can transition into more that late game Shadow Fiend if he wants to.
Do you like the Blink choice? Obviously, it's great for pickoff, and we saw it against the Disruptor. Or do you think he just need to keep on getting tanky, make sure that he's just the unkillable Shadow Fiend? Maybe like Scotty, for example.
One of the nice things is they've got multiple other Blink carriers, because like each subsequent Blink gets kind of stronger and stronger when you can follow up the Earthshaker initiation immediately, or follow up a Darkseer Vacuum immediately.
Are we going to see the Dream combo? The Blink Vacuum Fissure into Requiem.
There's even an Impale. There's an Aghanim's Lion there if you want to go 60 minutes in the game. I don't think we're going to see.
I don't see. I mean, that's
Ninja Boogie can't even farm a Blink.
Yeah, I don't think that's a part of the combo.
No.
It could be though, but
the Vacuum Requiem with a Fissure / Echo, absolutely.
They should buff Lion's Aghanim. Give him something else.
Yeah,
give him an AoE Mana Drain. That'd be pretty sick, actually.
Or you can just like cast it on like while you're draining from here, you can still channel. You can click the ability again and target multiple heroes.
Or you could give your ally mana.
Oh yeah,
that's actually pretty broken.
I don't know with Ag. I mean, considering you just bought an Ag Scepter, I don't think that's broken. If that's like all you're getting out of your Ag Scepter, I don't think that's broken at all.
I was gonna say just a line buff to Mana Drain in general, not. Jo is playing it really up front.
He has not got the 8. He's got BKB, goes in on Disruptor.
Dead Disruptor, yep.
That's a hero worth taking out at the start of a fight. That Ag's ulti will be a team fight decider.
I also take out the Witch Doctor as well. Fissure is going to momentarily cut off the retreat path. And with the 2 hero dead, I think you could just go high ground now. Pipe actually did nothing there.
So Finger and Requiem were used on the side of Rave as well as the Shadow Fiend BKB, but Leshrac Aegis just send him onto the high ground. They've got the Darkseer Vacuum Wall. They've got the Bleak Earthshaker. This, to me, is good timing for Rave to at least start prodding away at this Tier 3 tower, force out the Glyph with the Edict. And Rave will probably just wait for the next creep wave and then go again. Chrissy just gets out of tower range and even gets a defensive Fissure to cover him.
Oh. By the way, I really like the itemization. I keep going back to this, but Rave's 3 core are never getting silenced by Bloodright or Orchid.
Yeah, unless they just don't unless they don't want to be.
Yeah,
like use these items.
Guardian Greaves, debuffing. So
quad blinks up by the way on Rave now. Some serious mobility to go with it. Even easier to dodge the Bloodseeker silence.
So again, the only thing that's going to carry them back in the game is a amazing Static Storm by the Disruptor, but he's actually getting initiated on. He finally has it. I think this is the time where you make the self-smoke play. High away from the fight. They see them jump in, and you just drop Static Storm on top. Hope for the best.
Yeah, you got to get... If you just get the Static... I guess if you go for the Shadow Fiend, maybe Darkseer gets a good counter initiation off. You don't have to worry too much about the Earthshaker because he can't really blink into a Static Storm.
Right.
But definitely Darkseer, the Disruptor wants to be the one initiating a fight rather than using it defensively. And still with Aegis in hand, I imagine Rave should look to make another play as long as they have it. They don't want to just let it expire without getting much done. They've hit some pretty nice item timings right now.
Well, here comes that smoke. Shadow Fiend seems to be going for a butterfly, which is a fine item choice. I think Ethereal Blade would not be bad either. Simply because TnC's physical damage output has not been significant at all. But he buys what he wants to buy, and if they get one pick here, TnC is just done, I think.
Yep. So, Sam H on the front lines. He's not the easiest game. A few deaths in the offlane, and this has just been an all-around good performance from Rave to stay alive against the TnC aggression, but Smoke not going to amount to too much. They split up, farm all 3 lanes, whereas TnC are bottled up in their base, not really getting much in the way of gold.
Also, Leshrac has brown boots, which is key because if should he die in this fight, he's going to come back alive with Bloodstone very quickly.
Yep.
And BOT is a great way to get back in the fight.
Yeah, we imagine even just buying BOTs very soon.
Which, by the way, Parker, since we've got quite a bit of time, this game's not going anywhere. What do you feel about BOT2? Do you actually think it's worth the 200 goal?
It's very situational, and it's to me it's just purely a ganking item because it's not actually because it's like if you have like a solo ganking hero like Nyx, you can TP in with him to give him that like extra follow-up damage.
Right.
But I think it's pretty situational for late game pickoff. Like it's great in these ultra late game scenarios where you can find pickoffs with it.
A lot of times, I think just TPing to there's generally some creep that's close by. Yeah. Unless your Nyx is in their jungle.
Yeah, like exactly. That's why I think it's very situational for lineups where you have that hero who's going to roam around looking for kills, specifically in the late to ultra late game. Nyx, Clinks, whatever it may be.
What do you think instead of being able to TP onto you? Does Lumi theory crafting because you know I'm so good at
like choose any spot on the map. You
no,
can
not
Fury
that.
on TP.
Like not Fury on TP, but make it a recall like Colorado recall.
So you could TP, bring a hero to you.
Yeah. So it's obviously not what BOT is designed to do, but it makes it such that you could keep non-upgraded boots on a carry, or have like let's say your number 1 core is so fat that he's completely 6-slotted even without boots. You know, sometimes he gets that situation, and somebody just TPs him as he split push.
It's more than the item would have. What you'd have to have the TP on there as well as the recall. So having an item with 2 actives doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, it doesn't work. Okay.
I mean, yeah, you have to have some way to toggle between the 2 actives, which doesn't really work.
Well, you could toggle wards.
Yeah, that's it. That was going to be my argument. Like wards can do it. I was like, I think the argument still kind of applies.
Then you can double tap TP right to base.
Yeah, exactly. That's the double tap. So maybe it's a separate item altogether, but you lose the teleport. For the recall.
That seems pretty bad. Actually, that's...
I mean, it's like a ultra farm support kind of thing in late game. So your carry doesn't have to have boots or something. Or doesn't have to carry TP scroll.
I do like the fact that now Dota has so many different items that it's very fresh. At the same time, though, a lot of heroes just have still 1 build, which is somewhat disappointing. Smoke coming out from TnC, trying to find a pick.
They're going to catch vision soon of the Darkseer. They're in hot pursuit, and T-He will pop the smoke. Ooh, blink out immediately.
And they all just get out of there.
I think it was Ninja Boogie to the north who maybe also got some vision there.
Well, ward is dropped down. They do see Rio coming in right now.
They're turning this one around. They've got Leshrac on the move, and Leshrac,
Uh-oh.
by the way, just picked up an Ocarine call. BKB wreck him. They're going to blow up the Disruptor, start the fight. Wall, use someone unnecessarily defensively, but they'll get a second kill, and it's a easy team fight from here for Rave. Bloodseeker TP out, unsuccessful.
And that will allow them to push bottom. Creep wave conveniently right next to them. Do they got triple buybacks? I don't think so.
They have single on the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, they need the disruptor. And it's not to say that he's been playing poorly, but honestly, getting caught out 3 times in a row by the same combo is...
He's just not like respecting that. Shadowfiend will use his Requiem just for the disruptor.
It's worth it.
That's how important this hero is to the TnC team fight.
Yeah. And Rave, without any kind of challenge, will take down the bottom racks, I imagine, and rotate mid. Look at this.
25 seconds on Bloodseeker, who can buy back, so they may actually look to defend.
They'll fight now with Disruptor alive.
Not buying back just yet. They've got to do it soon. There we go. The buyback comes in. Bloodseeker on the front line taking a lot of damage. Chrissy just BKBs and fights. This Octarine core going to make him hard to deal with. As he goes in, he wants a Disruptor, just trying to force out that Static Storm to be misplayed. Chrissy, TP, he's gone.
Yeah, no way to cancel it. I think Glimpse has been used already. Oh, they're running up the hill. Oh no, Ayo, he drops his Storm, but there's nobody to follow up. That's it.
And now Lesh, where's that level 2 boots of travel recall now, Lumi? Gotta bring the Lesh back.
It's okay, I don't think they need Lesh.
No, they're going to keep poking and prodding here. Shadowfiend gets another kill. It looks like he'll get Sam H as well. Maybe not enough damage against the Bristleback. Lion blinks forward, but quickly realizes that maybe not the best idea. Nice defensive surge. Sonic Wave not going to reach as well. As Queen of Pain gets zoned out. This is bottom racks claimed, and Leshrat's pushing mid, so they just go for 2 lanes here if they want to. Rave just too far ahead.
Yeah. So I think this game has been a good showcase of... The team is not just about Teehee, even though he makes the wild plays, you know, the solo mid juggernaut, the clinks. But I think he's he's dependent at least on getting a couple of successful roam kills from his support. And not only that, but having some backup carries. Because I think our central point of this game was that Queen of Pain never became the Queen of Pain that she could have been, right?
Compare what Chrissy's done on Leshrac this game to the Queen of Pain, and it's miles between what the two have accomplished. But they'll get the mid lane of Rex as well. TnC going to hold on to this game for now. BKB coming up in a couple seconds for Jo. He gets Yuled up in the air. There's a blink. Echo. It feels like the first Echo of the game. They just haven't needed it.
The dream! Okay, only killed one, but it looked good.
It did look good.
Yeah.
Style points here as they bring down Witch Doctor as well. And got to imagine that GG call coming soon now. They'll drop the wall. And the crazy thing with Rave is they never seem to need all their ultis. Like that's the first time I feel like we've seen an Echo Slam.
Yeah.
Half the walls we've seen haven't been needed as well. It just really goes to show how far ahead Rave have been in every single team fight for the last 20 minutes. The early game I feel was close. I feel like TnC were just a couple of kills away from starting to snowball, maybe a couple less deaths on key heroes like the Queen of Pain, and things could have been very different.
I think close is not good enough. I think close is...
I agree.
Yeah, I think when you play Bloodseeker, you cannot let it be close. That's my point.
Yep. Well, we joined back on the panel, K-Pop and Purge. Game 2 wrapped up. We're going to game 3.
Yeah, that's one of the best ways I've seen to beat TnC the entire group. We talked about it before. The Shadowfiend did a pretty good job in the early end, mid, and well, the whole game long, just kind of countering what the Bloodseeker brought to the table there. Great support play out of MVP Phoenix, keeping him safe. Smoking to defending when they knew that Rupture was off cooldown.
I'm not sure if that was intended play.
We're gonna pretend. We're gonna pretend it's on purpose.
I think they probably intended to gank mid from behind, but then they realized what's going on.
Well, they intended to help out at the Shadowfiend, right? And however that gets done, that's the right play, correct? So they did a really good job there. I think. And like you were talking about towards the end, it seems like Teehee is kind of the emotional barometer for his team, right? If he is playing well, if they're having a good game, TnC's having a good game. If he's having a poor game, it kind of goes that way for them as well. So a good job there by Rave.
Yeah, I think Jay was actually the MVP this game. I'm really glad he got put up there because the game completely surrounded around how many kills that Bloodseeker got, and every single time you get ruptured, bam, double tap on the TP, he's gone. Yep. And I think what TnC really needed to do was shift either one of their heroes to every time that Rupture was up, whether that was Witch Doctor for Cask or the Disruptor for Glimpse. Because if they would have stopped TPs, he would have gotten 3 kills in his lane, and he would have gone crazy. And the few times after his first unsuccessful Ruptures that he did go for dives, then Rave did have their supports there, and they were able to get those kills. Those kills were so crucial. And as soon as Bloodseeker couldn't do anything, Rave just took the game and ran with it. They didn't even have to pressure that hard. They just passively farmed. Ninja Boogie contributed to a lot of kills on online. He maybe got a fast Blink Dagger, but it really didn't matter because the Eul's pickups completely countered what TnC wanted to do. It was Rupture, Bloodright, and even the follow-up after that was just Eul's protected them completely. I really like the Eul's choice on the Shadowfiend. It's situational. It was very rarely picked up in the C qualifier, but I think this was the perfect game for it.
Yeah, I agree. So good job there by TnC, or good job there by Rave, excuse me, as they take down TnC. We're at 1-1, and we're going to get ready for the final game of this series. The winner of this will go on to face MVP Phoenix in the Losers Bracket Finals. Stay around. We'll be right back.
He's got another Rupture, Jo.
What is this cooldown? He doesn't have a TP now, so he's kind of on his own, but his teammates is coming in. Bloodride's going to come in, and do they have to raise this? They will get the kill as a result. One more raise should do it. Jo going to get a little bit of regen back thanks to that.
He could have just ran there. Could have let his 2 supports finish off the kill with Death Ward in the kinetic field. Now bottom lane, Finger comes out. Down goes Bristleback.
TP in here, Quap kind of come in. Oh, no Sonic Wave. That would have been big. Chrissy trying to line up a stun. Will he hit it? He gets the courier, though. Not exactly what he wants, because that's a TP from safe lane to essentially die.
Surge forward, he's juking in the trees. Fissures there, but he's already popped the blade mail. This makes it a lot harder to bring him down. And he does not want to use the Figure, going to wait for it to expire, and now they bring him down with the AoE damage.
Okay, Sonic Wave's still alive. He's finally get brought down. Queen of Pain on the back line, trying to get a couple kills. Rio's going to get out of there.
Death Ward doing some serious damage. Kills off Leshrac, who's going to lose a lot of those Bloodstone charges. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain
ward is dropped down. They do see Rio coming in right now.
They're turning this one around. They've
They
got
got
Leshrac
Static
on the
Storm.
move, and Leshrac, by the way, just picked up an Ocarina called BKB Wreck him. They're going to blow up the Disrupt to start the fight. Wall, use someone unnecessarily defensively, but they'll get a second kill, and it's a easy team fight from here for Rave. Bloodseeker TP out, unsuccessful.
And that will allow them to push bottom. Creep Wave conveniently right next to them. Do they got triple buybacks?